another episode of IFRS 17 podcast. I'm your host, Muhammad Usman Tariq, and today we are going to deep dive into tool implementations under IFRS 17. I would like to thank Satish to join me, and we will be having a discussion with Satish on tool implementation and what are the challenges that he faced at the time of implementing a tool under IFRS 17. What were the challenges related to data, related to tool? Let's explore it together. Okay, Satish, could you please tell us what challenges you faced in terms of accuracy and availability of data?
I would like to begin by saying that data is the key for tool implementation. The granularity of results that can be viewed in IFRS 17 is much better than IFRS 4. So, the requirement of data in IFRS 17 is in much granular level. The biggest challenge in terms of data is in the cash flow data, as most of the companies currently have only the net balances. But for IFRS 17, we would be requiring the gross balances for each individual headings, like what is the balance in separate reinsurance headings and separate gross claims paid, etc. And all of these data requirement is needed in underwriting year level. The level of data for each company could be different depending on the GOC classification. If the GOC level is in more granular level, all the data sets are required in that level. All the requirements are needed in underwriting year level for IFRS 17. But in previous IFRS 4 standards, most of the estimation was done in accident year or financial year level. So there have to be made key assumption in places like IBNR, etc. to transform the data from accident year to underwriting year.
Okay. Could you please elaborate this more on the reinsurance side of things?
Firstly, I'd like to begin by saying that we are moving away from viewing the results in terms of gross and net to insurance contract assets and insurance contract liabilities. For direct insurance companies, all reinsurance contracts are assets. So the level of data requirement for reinsurance contracts is exactly same as the level of data requirement for gross. For various estimated liabilities, currently it has been split into gross and net in IFRS 4. But moving forward in IFRS 17, we would have to split them separately for gross and separately for reinsurance contracts. And in reinsurance contracts, all has to be done in underwriting year level. Apart from this, the biggest challenge is all the eligibility tests like PA eligibility test or onerosity testing has to be done independently for reinsurance contract, irrespective of whether gross contract is PA eligible or whether it is onerous or not. Since the duration of contract for gross and reinsurance need not be same. So underlying gross contract could be PA eligible, but reinsurance contract may not be PA eligible. This can happen vice versa also.
Moving to tool implementation, what are the key challenges that are being faced?
Transforming the data into specific requirement of a tool is going to be a challenge initially. Many a times, only after running the whole tool, we can validate the results. So initially, there has to be multiple reruns just to make sure that results are in acceptable range. There's a learning curve for various stakeholders while using the tool, even including the manufacturer of the tool also. He will tweak the tool according to the needs of the clients based on geography and other client specific requirements. Similarly, stakeholders also over a period of time will get used to the tool and the requirement of the tool in a much better way, and number of reruns required would come drastically down over a period of time.
How do you validate the output?
Currently, the results are being benchmarked with IFRS 4. there are two main reasons for it. Various stakeholders are getting familiar with IFRS 17 tool. So currently the results is being benchmarked with IFRS 4 to make sure that results are in acceptable range. Second, most of the stakeholders are familiar with IFRS 4. So a detailed bridging file with explanation of deviation is being made. Over a period of time, as stakeholders get used to the tool and as well as the standard, the bridging file would not be needed.
Okay, in the end, Satish, please share your some concluding comments with us, and please also tell us that how IFRS 17 is going to transform the insurance industry.
IFRS 17 standards has brought uniformity and transparency in insurance financial statements. Previously, companies would not disclose what is the prudence margin being kept in the reserves. But in IFRS 17 standards, for every company, we would know what are the best estimates and what is the prudence margin being kept by the company. On the way forward, as various stakeholders start getting familiar with IFRS 17 standards, they would start using it for their decision making. Definitely, as the level of granularity in IFRS 17 is much higher, this would help them in making better judgments. The data being captured in each company would be made in such a way that the results that has to be published for IFRS 17 is seamless. Over a period of time, this would be the new normal and most of the company would publish the required financials in time seamlessly.